So this is what we look like right now since we're doing our accelerate 2. We got our controller, and it's basically saying we want to move at 1,000 units per second, and we're basically just saying our direction is either up or down, left or right, and kind of go towards that velocity. So it should be like fat sack in space is kind of that thing. So let me hit play here. And then of course Slate crashes. So there's our first crash, and it's because freaking Unreal blowing up on us. I'll need to update to the latest version of Unreal. We're a couple months behind, and they probably fixed that crash. That's basically when you're in the editor and you hit play and you're using some Slate stuff. Sometimes it doesn't work. It likes to explode on you. So here's our fat sack moving around. Our camera's very slowly following him because our camera speed is very, very slow. It's a stupid camera, it doesn't do much. Let's just double check what's going on here real quick, because I wasn't doing exactly what I wanted. Yeah. A couple of months, how dare us. So what I want to see is if we've got left and right both pressed, we should be going to 0 velocity, but we're not. So what I want to do here is let's just actually just do that. Because I should be able to just like hit all 4 buttons at once, and then he stops because he wants to go in no direction. But that wasn't happening, so we're going to take a closer look. So this is saying go left and right at the same time. That's one of the things I want to check, is that at the 0 velocity, I don't want to move if he slows down properly. Well, he's not moving, so it's got to be a thing like that. Well, it's kind of hard sometimes to reproduce bugs that have to do with moving stuff around in keyboard input, because you want to be like hitting the keyboard, but you also like want to go put a breakpoint somewhere, and it's getting hit every frame, so it can be a real pain in the ass. So usually you just print stuff out. Which is what print out stuff to the logs is for. wanted velocity. Yeah, that's kind of what the issue. Yeah, some of the most fun programs to write are programs that actually screw around with input directly. Like if you've ever written anything that kind of simulates input on a keyboard, for some reason, maybe a bot of some kind, um, maybe to play some sort of massively multiplayer online game. If you're ever hooking the keyboard and like doing crazy stuff, and you're also developing that, if you screw up your code, and like all of a sudden you get random key presses and like all sorts of crap happening, like I was writing a totally legit program one time, and I screwed it up pretty bad. And when I played it, it basically just like hijacked my keyboard and like started typing into Visual Studio, just garbage, and then just like saved everything. It like deleted all the code and like deleted itself, and then crashed the program, and then locked up my computer. And I was like, well, shit. So what we're doing here is we got our output logs going here. So we're holding everything, and our current velocity is locked. Our velocity displacement is 0, 0, and infinite. So if we hold left and right, our velocity displacement is 0. Seems wrong. Setting new velocity. Do I have wanted velocity? Wanted velocity displacement. Alright, our wanted velocity is... Yeah, I need to change those words real quick so I don't get confused. So wanted velocity and difference. Let's just do current velocity there. So current velocity and applied velocity. Program suicide. Yes, definitely. So we hit up our wanted. What wanted? Did I? Ah. Yeah, take a minute. Write better descriptive logs. Okay, so at rest, our wanted velocity is 0, our current velocity is 0, the difference is 0, and we are applying a velocity of 0. So if we hold up, the wanted velocity is 1,000 in the z direction, the current velocity is 1,000, the difference is infinite. Why is the difference infinite? Oh, let's double check it. The difference is velocity displacement. The velocity displacement is the acceleration times that. It's not the actual difference, is it? The difference is this vector, so we should add another one. So this is going to be displacement, and difference is this. Yeah. How's everybody's day going? It's Sunday for me, so it's the end of. We do weekly sprints, which basically means we make a plan and we kind of plan the next week out, and then we do stuff. So this is the last day of planned work, and then we do planning. I usually do planning today as well. It's kind of a relaxing day. It's like if you were going to get all your shit done that you want to do this week, you probably already would have got it done. So we're kind of in garbage time at the moment. So we hold up. Our difference is 0 because we're doing that. Let's see, if I hold both up and down, our wanted velocity is 0, our current velocity is nothing. The difference is negative 1,000 as we'd expect, but our displacement is 0. Why is the displacement 0? So the displacement should be the acceleration times that times the wanted velocity. So the wanted velocity is 0. So that means the displacement is going to be 0 because we're doing that. What we actually want is, we don't want it to be our wanted velocity times this. We want it to be the difference, right? Like we want to take the difference and then we want to normalize that difference, and then we want to multiply it by these. So we're going to do our we're going to call this the displacement direction. So normalize that vector and apply it here. So we're going to have the displacement direction is also going to be a vector we want to look at real quick. This is going to be displacement direction. All right. See if that fixes our math problems here. You lost your machine. Well, where'd you lose it? Like I saw the other day on some of Adam's stream that there was lots of cursing going on with you, Karakan. I had to rebuild my machine last week. I wasn't too happy with how the main hard drive was performing, so I yanked it and went and got a new one. Spent all day rebuilding everything. So let's take a look at what we got here. So if we hold, yeah, we got to click into the window. We hold up, we're doing it. So now alright, that looks proper actually. So now it should be going down. So yeah, so we hold both buttons. Like we hold down and then we hold up. We don't move. The camera's just slowly following it. So we hold right and then we hold left. We hold up. We got right, left, and then we got up. And up is not, we're not moving up though. So left and right and up. Is up just not getting, oh well, down works. But not up. What the hell is that about? Let's see what's going on with that. So this is going to be left stick up. So let's just throw it out. Up is down. What a great log statement. What drive? What did I pick? Yeah, it's just an Ultra 2, a SanDisk Ultra 2 960. So I got it's a 1 terabyte SSD basically. That's all. Yeah, that can be a real pain in the butt. I actually did have a hard drive failure over here. I think it was late last month. The build machine got completely screwed up, and the build machine hard drive exploded. But that was actually pretty cool because my training as a server engineer is like everything should always be backed up. If everything explodes, then everything's fine. So I just like went to Best Buy, I got a new hard drive, plugged it in, and I was like, "Come on, systems, do what you're supposed to," and everything worked. It was pretty cool. All right, so up is down. Up is still down, but we're not moving up. Why not? Hmm. So the button's being pressed at least. So there's got to be something, and it is the Z vector that's messed up for some reason. So I will track it down. It's not bad. This is kind of how debugging works for me, at least. You type out a bunch of stuff, and then you kind of poke at it and make sure, verify that everything is working as it should. Caravan. His name's Caracan. Get it right. I know that C and V key are next to each other. That's no excuse. So our wanted velocity is 0, so we are not... Are we not setting it? Where are we not setting it? So let's see if we can just reproduce this behavior real quick. Just like that. Very nice. Yeah, getting a new hard drive and all that is just... I've done it so many times that now it's just kind of a like... You just settle in. You're like, all right, let's boot up Windows, install disk again. Am I just going crazy here? Because now it works. Damn you, Heisenbugs. A Heisenbug is a bug that only happens like when you it disappears when you try to debug it. It only happens in the wild, kind of a Schrodinger's cat sort of thing. You cannot you know the bug exists, but you don't know where it is. And when you attempt to measure the bug disappears. An automated backup? Well, anything that takes your files and puts them somewhere else physically is a good idea. I mean, honestly, just like OneDrive or something like that, if you're on Windows, isn't an awful plan. Yeah, I cannot take credit for naming the Heisenbug. That was one of my friends, Damon, back at EATD, and he probably got it from somebody else. He definitely must be running into something here that's saying the up button's not working. So let's take a closer look. Yeah, it's something with the keyboard itself that's doing that, which I kind of expected a little bit. I'm using the keyboard and the controller at the same time. I mean, this is kind of what you want to do when you're messing with games and stuff. Is you want to test stuff out as much as possible with all these crazy different combinations. So it's like, yeah. Yeah, I'm in Washington. I also went to school here. Went to school over in Seattle, and I'm over here in Spokane. So alright, good. So we got the fat sack roaming around and everything like that, and we know our camera is working as it's supposed to. So our camera is following. Let's see, where is our camera speed? Our follow speed is 100 right now. Just because we kind of set it there. Let's just throw this number out into our globals real quick. I forget where the hell things are, so let's just do static float, camera follow speed, and let's set it to something big like 2000, just because we can. Well, I'll have to set that in the file. So we'll be throwing that out somewhere else later anyway, but that's just how it is. People who can't take constructive criticism and just think people are being mean or finding things wrong because they want to, or people who give constructive criticism. Well, I mean, basically, that was beaten into me in college. Was the only way you learn is through failure, and if you're not failing, you're not learning. So failure is actually when you fail at something, that's a very good thing, because it's like you screwed up, you can learn from that. So and that's a lot of stuff with game development. Is basically if you're reading in a book, it's already out of date. So you're always learning. So you're always failing. So you're just, I'm the ultimate in failing at everything, and doing it wrong all the time. So I'd say people who can't take constructive criticism are they're stuck. They're not learning. They're done. They're done with their journey. So think is worse. I mean, people who give constructive criticism, if it's actually constructive, are by definition, I'm guessing, not being jerks. But I guess you're basically more asking people who give lots of criticism and are just being critical. Are they worse than people who just can't take some freaking feedback? And I'd say I don't really have a problem with people who can't take feedback. I think it's worse when people are just actively trying to screw with people. People whining for other people. I am a whiner by proxy. I am paid to whine. No, I complain enough. I complain for any two people. I'll just we'll get on a call with Adam and I'll just bitch about stuff. So there's our camera moving at a much faster speed. You can see it's just following our guy. Awesome. So we have basic movement actually doing exactly what it's supposed to. There is no physics interaction with the world, but those are just flying around controls there, which is exactly what we wanted that to do. Let's go ahead and shut off some of these logs. That works. Alright, so we got our basic movement stuff there, doing what it should. So what are we working on next? Some super basics going on. Well, we're going to want to start doing raycasts and stuff like that. Two things. So we need to figure out how to do raycasts, sounds like, next. So let's do some raycasts with the world. The derived classes, set up basic movement. And set up raycasting and set up objects to have proper collision types. And that might take a little bit. Anyway, I'm gonna need to take a break here for just a little bit because I've been going for about 2.5 hours and I'm getting a little hungry. So I will be actually not too long, maybe 5 or so minutes. Just gotta go move around a little bit. So I'll just leave the music on down here and I will be back shortly. Well, let's see here. Oh yeah, just made myself some really good ramen here. Super spicy. So I'll have to figure out what I'm working on here next. I think it's going to be, I want to figure out how to get ray casting working properly from inside of the movement stuff, so that we can actually call and be like, all right, well, if we move forward, we're going to collide with this type of object, stuff like that. It's going to be important. So if you guys got any questions or anything while I'm here just kind of chilling out for a little bit, go ahead and fire away. So we'll see if me just sitting here eating a bowl of ramen is engaging content for viewers. I'm guessing not really. Just fascinated. Do you have any? I don't really know a whole heck of a lot about you and any of the people who Adam usually has hanging around in the channel and all that. Do you have any interest in game development or how it works, or any general questions, even if you don't have a specific one? I guess eating food on stream is like a big deal over in Asian countries. It's really funny. Like they'll have somebody pull up. They'll have people. I think it's Mokuban or something like that. It's pretty nuts. They'll have somebody just like eat breakfast and like a whole bunch of amazing food, and like that's their show. That's just what they do. They show up and eat food, and that's what people do. I guess I don't know. People are weird. Yeah, programming in general is pretty cool. There's always something new to learn, different reasons to use different things, and it's all just like computers are the dumbest things on the planet. Like literally, they are just rocks that we have placed that have metallic properties that conduct electricity, and then we shoot electricity through them. And the only reason they appear to do things at anything useful is because we set them up that way. Like it's pretty funny. It's like It's like, well, I just want to print out like something to a text file. It'd be like, well, you got to import 200 million lines of code written by like 5 million people over the last 40 years. Otherwise, you can't do it. It's like, well, I just want to write stuff down. Like I can do that with a pencil. It's like, yeah, well, you know how many uncountable hours have been spent to make that computer able to do that task. It's just insane. I haven't played too many tabletop games. I think back in like middle school, high school, played a bunch of like Warhammer 40K. And all the figurines, paint them. Even had that job at the grocery store, so I could go make money, so I could spend it on all that crap. That was a lot of fun. I think I had more fun painting the things than playing the game though, because it's just things can be tedious. So I need to get the ray casting stuff set up. There's just so much crap you have to put together to get games to do anything. Like we even got like last night. There, Adam on stream he was working on those rocks and boulders, and it's like, well, yeah, we need better collision detection for those specific pieces of world geometry, because right now everything like we're just doing the characters and the pieces of world geometry. Well, they have much more complex collision. because, well, they don't move and they're rocks and you got to jump and, you know, table over them and everything. So I think Unreal stuff will work pretty well for that. It didn't really work well for the 2D animated characters, though. Yeah, but chemicals and like people and the rest are all, you know, they're not digital systems. They're analog systems. Like, you know, it's not a 0 or a 1. It's you know, a 0 to a 1. You know, there's a maybe in there. So you can do a lot more with that. Now, there's a lot more than just the amino acid chain, though, right? Like, we got the methyl groups that are all around the DNA. So it's there's always something else going on inside of there. But yeah, it is all coded out there, but that's kind of like the machinery, the scaffolding around which everything else is built. Like, you need a storage system, right? You need a way to copy things, move them around.